Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to give you my thoughts on Nosferatu. And yes, no, Nosferatu I seen opening day, Christmas Day. That was my Christmas movie selection of the actual day itself. And I'm very glad it was. I'm very glad that I wear my taste in movies on my sleeve because this was one of my most anticipated movies of 2024. Funny it came at like the tail end of it, but it still was nonetheless. I am a big fan of director Robert Eggers. I absolutely loved The Northman and The Witch, and him tackling a story like this, it just seems like a match made in heaven to me. You know, the period, the horror, centric nature of it. I was very eager, and I am glad to say it met all those expectations I had. Because Nosferatu is one of my favorite movies of 2024. Honestly, probably one of my top two, three favorite movies of the whole year. I thought it was that good. Just a fantastic film in that it tackles what you're thinking, but it doesn't do it in like this, cleaned up, streamlined, conventional sort of way. It could have taken routes that would be more kind of receptive, let's say, to general audiences or more casual moviegoers. But it has like this weirdness throughout, this sort of sense of melancholy, this not just a feeling of dread, but just like this really morbid sense of humor, like really really dark bits of humor in spots, and just like its perception of the world it's telling the story, and it can come across weird to some people. There are things that people are just thought, okay, that's I don't know whether to laugh or that's just kind of sick, or it's ones that people like me and the people that it's probably made for are absolutely enthralled by. Um, and I was really enthralled by this movie right along with Lily Rose Depp, right? And speaking of Lily Rose Depp, like, holy hell. I have not watched a lot of her, but man, she is something because she gave one of the best performances of the year in this movie. I am not kidding. Um, what she put herself through, fully committed to the role, her seizures, her just like mental torment, and just the range she had to cover in the runtime of this movie is pretty insane. And I thought she really hit it out of the park. I think people need to see her in a new light. I know there's like this internet perception of her because she's Johnny Depp's daughter. The weekend, the weekend show she did, The Idol, didn't do very well, which I've meant to watch. It actually doesn't look that bad, at least on her end. So yeah, I'm just gonna like laugh, react automatically to any post about her. That's about the depth of most people like that's argument with her, but she was great in this movie, and I really hope it's a start to a trend of serious roles for her that really put her in a spotlight she deserves, honestly. It's also an impressive ensemble cast. You have Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, and he was just a very, I'm sure, easy choice to make for this sort of thing. But you don't recognize Bill Skarsgård very much. Maybe there are moments where you can kind of see something in his facial structure, like within that area. Um, but his voice, the way he talks, the way he moves, it's definitely not just, oh yeah, look at Bill Skarsgård doing this vampire thing. It's Bill Skarsgård transforming himself and playing this horrid character. Um, and I thought he did a very good job. The design of Orlok himself. It's not, again, it's the movie not going for something conventional and streamlined. They could have done something to clean up this design more. They could have done something to make it a little bit more easier to swallow, and oh yeah, he just looks cool and badass. They don't go for that. He looks grotesque, and there are like features about him that are just kind of off-putting and again a little weird. um, and like I said, this movie was not made for everyone. There are going to be certain people who this doesn't click with, which is a shame. But I don't think Eggers or anyone else that worked on the film should feel bad about that, because I had a packed theater, and most of the showings on Christmas were pretty packed, which is good. I'm excited about that. But there were some laughs in my theater, and it's not because it's so bad it's good or something like that. It's you'll have Lily Rose Depp doing like a seizure scene or something that's, very serious, but it's kind of like awkward and unsettling to watch, be it in a movie or in real life. She does it really realistically, and people just kind of snicker. Oh, she look, probably because, oh, she looks funny or she looks weird. That's so dumb. Why is she suddenly doing that? Or, why is she suddenly, falling for this thing? It's just this context where I think people should have to take tests, to see movies, to see if they're mentally mature enough to actually, think about what they're watching. And no, I'm not saying, oh, if you don't like it, you just don't get it, you're stupid. That's not what I'm saying. It's just this mental maturity that people need to really kind of look at themselves with. But anyway, the supporting cast is impressive as well. I already mentioned Bill Skarsgård, but you have Willem Dafoe as this aged, seasoned hunter, bridging on Van Helsing type. He's a lot of fun in the movie. He definitely brings a bit of, I don't know if I want to say levity, but a different brightness to like the personality of the film that I think does it quite well. You have Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's an aristocrat friend of Nicholas Hoult, who we'll talk about in a second. I've always been mixed on Johnson. Here, sometimes it feels like, okay, he's really on the nose with some of his delivery. Other times, oh, that's a decent bit of depth. I think it might be his best performance I've seen. But he wasn't bad, really. Then you have Nicholas Hoult, who has been in how many things lately, and he deserves to. Superman Legacy even next year. He's Thomas, Lily Rose Depp's character's husband, and he does a good job. He covers quite a bit of spectrum with the movie. Sort of like a Renfield type of character in a Dracula story. And that brings me up another thing. Some people aren't going to be aware of, the origins of Nosferatu compared to Dracula. Essentially, the book Bram Stoker's Dracula was written in I believe the 1890s, and Nosferatu was made in, I think, the early 1920s. So they did not actually have the rights to translate it directly, so they had to change certain things about it, sort of make it their own thing, while still very much following the novel. And then over the years after that, Nosferatu kind of took its own status among film. And the way it's described in the book is, very different from this, and he in this is very different from your typical Dracula story. He's not like this wealthy, entrepreneur, dashing or anything like that. He's just very much stuck as what he is. And again, the movie was very, very good. I loved it quite a bit. It has like a weight to the characters, a sense of doom with that atmosphere you'd expect from Robert Eggers' movie. And again, like I said, it might be my favorite movie of his. It's not like a streamlined everybody horror film. It does have some violent moments that are pretty pleasing, but by the end of it, it doesn't really go for the expected, like, action sequence crescendo or anything like that. It goes for something that's very poetically and narratively fitting that I thought was very, very well handled. So if I had to rate it, and I always love Eggers' locations too. This looks fantastic. But if I had to rate it, I'm giving it a plus. I'm giving it an A+. Fuck it. It's a great film. Please do go see it. And follow me on TikTok, of course, Twitter, Instagram, later.